She's really the devil incarnate. We didn't have a guide that was capable of explaining most of this stuff. There were guides there, but not very well organized for explanation. I think I have a book somewhere that does explain most of the statuary, and I will read it and eventually add some of this dubbing on, some of those descriptions onto this dubbing. Got to figure out how to add sound without redoing the whole video portion. Maybe when I get the new 8mm device, the player will have that dubbing capability. And here's a close-up view of some of the columns. Hand work done in the old-style fashion. They imported thousands of Italian workers to assist the Germans in building King Ludwig's castles. That was his crest. It's another view towards the lake we just came from the steps of the castle. Beautiful day in Bavaria. This came out pretty good. We're inside now. There's a skylight there. One of the areas. Some of it was still unfinished. A couple areas they were showing us some of the artwork. This looks like the Hall of Mirrors. Very similar, if not identical, to Louis' Versailles Hall of Mirrors room. One of the most beautiful rooms in the world in terms of architecture and capturing the ornate Rococo feeling. Painted ceilings and mirrors and beautiful colors and candles. Must have been magnificent in the old days when they lit it up. One of the guides pointed out to us in another room, we may see it later, that they had spent so much money they knew they were approaching bankruptcy, and the floors, they ran out of money to buy marble and the exotic woods that were used, so they actually had started painting some of the marble on the cheaper woods, plywood-like equivalents. And you couldn't tell the difference. The marble, where the marble floor ended and the wooden floor began, was impossible to tell. You had to put your hand down and knock on it to see that there was a difference. I think that is Caesar Augustus. There's GF shooting a shot of himself in a mirror, one of Ludwig's mirrors there. Somebody walked by, I think. Ludwig was a great admirer of Caesar. He had his heroes that he fantasized he would someday take after. I think that was a statue of himself. Okay, we're back outside. These are the outdoor statues. And those are frogs and lizards and alligators, part of the fountains. They shoot water out of their mouths when they turn that on. And they had a similar water statue in Versailles that was usually on, with turtles and frogs shooting water out of the statuary. That looks like it might be Diana or one of the water nymphs, Athena. A lot of Greek mythology throughout Ludwig's, and there's GBF walking around with all his camera gear on. Hi guys. Got my famous walking pants and walking shoes and yellow turtleneck sweater, it looks like, or yellow sweater, still have that. Carrying my Yashica camera stuff. Saying hello to, is that Neptune? No, that's a lady. See the boobs? Can't you tell a lady from a guy? Holy cow. There's the guy falling off the cliff, hanging upside down. Very beautiful scenes in Germany. Folk and I have often commented about how different. Oh, look at that little cherub face. Hello, Jennifer and Marky Boy. Oh, this is probably Lydia and the Swan. Swan myth. Swans are big. strong birds. Commented about the lack of ability to travel here in Japan compared to Europe. Europe was so easy and interesting to travel in, and Japan is not easy and not that interesting, other than the few major cities that have really done a job with their temples and shrines, parks. Most of Japan is very energetic. It's factories and people going to work and downtown shopping areas, but not a lot of scenery. Ladies are rushing to get their wagon back to the docks, and we're strolling back to the docks, I think. I think they actually sold you tickets based on the time that the boats were departing and leaving. So we were catching the 4 o'clock boat back. There's the Paddlewheeler I was talking about before. These captains really had it down to a science. They'd start and stop the motors and back up the wheels. Wooden paddle wheels. Oh, we're going to take the Ludwig Fessler back, it looks like. It's the one we passed coming over. They had constantly one coming and one going. And there the paddle wheels are stopped up there. Real wood. Gangplank comes down. Everybody off. Okay, folks. Have a nice day on the Herren Insel at Königsschloss. Ludwig II. König from Bavaria, von Deutschland. The nuns are going to take a look at Ludwig's area, the big, beautiful mountains, probably looking south towards the Austrian Swiss Alps. Salzburg was about an hour and a half from this spot. Good jumping off spot for Austria. We'll have to find some friends in Munich. See if we can spend some time with people there. And here's a train that went around. I think we did take a ride in that. This was from the downtown area out to where you caught the boat, like a trolley that went back and forth. Tracks. A lot of hot dog stands around here too. German Wiener Schnitzel and Wienerwald. Munich, the Bavarian cream. Munich is the most beautiful city in Germany, without a doubt. And after Paris, may be the most beautiful city, second most beautiful city in all of Europe. No, I think you'd have to include some other capitals. We're near the Olympic Stadium now, where the massacre of the Israelis occurred in the 1972 Olympics, I believe it was. This was a revolving restaurant that we had lunch in. I think this is actually before the Olympics started. They're still building. They had some very unusual structures. Outdoor suspension cables to hold up the tents and coverings for the Olympic Stadium roof. Instead of putting up structures to push the ceiling up, they put up those wire cable approaches to hang the ceiling from these wires. Different deal. Very effective. We took a ride up and we actually had lunch in that revolving restaurant where we got to see the whole Olympic Village and where they were staying and all the sporting fields. They built a bunch of stadiums. These Olympics really do a job for the cities they're going to do them in. I wonder if Atlanta will ever undertake such a major project. It'd be interesting to work with them on that.